Hello guys, it's Jonathan here with another Bottleman ranking video, this time ranking every speed type. So of course, I do want to preface by saying this is not going to be a ranking based on how good each Bottleman is. So, if you want to know more about that, I do have dedicated ranking videos for the prototype line and the DX line, and also my Godcap unboxings are decently informative on how good something might be, and there will eventually be a ranking video for Godcap as a whole, so yeah, this is entirely just focused on how well does a speed type actually sort of stay in the lane of what a speed type should be, and what should a speed type be? To me, a speed type should be something that, of course, has a good cap capacity and just has the capability to kind of shoot a lot of caps quickly. I think it's a pretty easy way to put it, so with that said, let's go ahead and rank all 10 of them that there are so far. So anyway, with that said, number 10, Salifier. This, in my opinion, is the weakest speed type overall. Yeah, it's kind of okay. It has the rollers like a speed type, but it's the only speed type that cannot support any extra caps. Its whole gimmick is like this thing where it moves around, and like I think in Crossfight Beat'em, like I think it was Gervais who had something similar to this, but like okay, it's speed, like physically, like it's physically fast, I guess, but like I'd rather just have cap capacity. This to me just isn't really the best speed type. Like it's a cool looking Bottleman, I still like it, but I just don't think this is what people really would want from a speed type. Number 9, potentially controversial one, Aqua Sports DX. This isn't really a bad Bottleman, it's just very, very basic. It does have its own magazine, which has a 3 cap capacity, which is debatable. It's like 2 caps and like 1 cap probably, like 1 extra cap probably, but like something that just falls out, so 2 to 3 caps, usually 3, sometimes 2, depends on how it's feeling. Also has the rollers, and then there's the whole thing where it like is tilted upwards, which gives it extra velocity or whatever, or height on the... It has like an arc, basically, that's what I'm trying to get across. It has an arc on the shots a little bit. Nothing to do with speed, really. It just has the rollers and cap capacity. It's a very basic speed type. Number 8, Aqua Sports, for like the same reasons as the rollers, has 3 cap capacity. This one's better because it has an actual 3 cap capacity. I guess Aqua Sports DX is like modular, the magazines can stack and stuff, but like this thing also just did it first as well, and I just, again, the base thing is better, I think, so I'll put it a spot above, I guess. Number 7, Samets. So this clearly just shows that this is not based on how good a Bottleman is, because Samets in no realm should ever be considered better than Aqua Sports, but in this type of video, where I'm ranking them on, well, how good they are as a speed type, I think kind of makes sense, because you have the rollers, you have the arms here, which taper back to give you a 2 cap capacity. It doesn't work the best, sometimes the cap falls off, but still, the idea is there. And you also have this double swing, which allows it, that like the trigger to kind of bounce back quicker. That's like the whole idea. It's a little bit more dynamic than the others, so I'm gonna put it above. I know it has 1 less cap, but I just think they actually try to do something a little more interesting here, so I'm gonna give them some credit for that. Number 6, El Milkaiser DX. This is a weird one because I don't know whether or not to count the long magazine as part of the actual Bottleman or not. It just kind of came in a set with the thing, and it clearly doesn't really color match, so does it count? Well, regardless, it has a magazine port on the core, if nothing else, so it has the ability to use magazines, and if you count this, then a 5 cap capacity, just on its own, which is cool. Why is it here? Well, as awkward as this is, it can be used as a one-handed grip, which is actually a really big deal for speed types, because a one-handed grip effectively means that you can reload while shooting, which is very beneficial to a speed type. Again, you want to have as many shots as you can. This plays into it. This is a very awkward one-handed grip, but it is a one-handed grip nonetheless, which is why it's up here. Number 5, Ayawashi DX, the funniest one here. Again, you have the rollers. Again, the magazine, it was just kind of in the set. If you want to count it, you can. 5-cut capacity, there you go. If not, it has the magazine port anyway. Then they got this here, this special trigger here. It kind of is meant to make the shot smoother and I guess kind of faster, which, I mean, it kind of works, but I feel like the trigger also just isn't good. But again, this is just a speed gimmicks video, and I think, you know what? It's something. Also, you have this nice grip here, and a stabilizer. And I feel like you can kind of get a one-handed shot going. It's not the best, but kind of a little bit. Then you have the trigger, and yeah, it's just kind of a nice speed type. It's nothing like crazy, but again, just has some extra stuff going on that I feel like makes it, well, at least puts it in the top half of the list, so that's something for it, I guess. Alright, number 4. Doc Papillon DX. This is, I feel like, kind of the poster of a speed type, in a sense. Got the rollers. It doesn't have a magazine, but there is, of course, the port for one. You have these 3 hooks, which you can basically make into a one-handed grip. It's a little bit awkward, but it does work and gets the job done as a one-handed grip. So again, reloading while shooting, but also this trigger here. You can basically have your thumb in it, and as you're shooting, it kind of pulls back much easier with your thumb in there. And what that does is it makes your shooting much faster, but definitely the fastest trigger, I would say. Having something like this with a one-handed grip, and again, potentially a magazine, I think just makes it, like, I mean, competitively speaking, a phenomenal speed type, but just in terms of gimmicks and stuff, I think it definitely ends up being pretty high up just based on that alone. So yeah, definitely earns a pretty high spot. Number 3, CC Leon DX. Rollers, magazine port, comes with its own special, unique magazine, the quick loader magazine. Well, kind of, but anyway, the base magazine has a 2-cap capacity, nothing crazy, but this can also be stacked on top of other magazines, so you can use a specific magazine with other magazines, which is nice because it is a specialty for this Bottleman in particular. Like, it just comes with this, it doesn't come with any other products except for a recolor of itself. And then, of course, you have these 2 things here. You take them off, and you can, of course, like, load them in the back there, giving you 4 extra caps. I feel like these are best used as like one-time uses, but that's still 8 extra caps just in reserve, and then you can also, I feel like this back part here with how the legs are set up is kind of like, especially with this up here, you kind of almost use it a little bit like a one-handed grip, a little bit. Kind of, it's kind of like Ayawashi, but worse, I would say. It's very awkward, but if you're trying to load the 2 caps in while you're shooting, you definitely can, which is kind of a big deal, I would say. Not like the biggest deal, but it's at least something. And you have a ton of caps here. I think that this just feels like a speed type, and definitely an interesting speed type at that, so I do want to give it, again, some credit, which is why it's at number 3. Number 2, well, a classic right here. Rising Milk. Rising Milk is interesting. You got the rollers, and you have the 8-cap capacity magazine. This thing is giant. Yeah, you just have like a ton of capacity in a speed type. That's like the craziest thing, but also it goes a step further, and the actual caps it comes with, if I could get that back, there we go, are speed caps, which are meant to effectively be lighter than the average cap, which of course is meant to, have it be, well, faster, which is very, very cool. So yeah, you have kind of the extra cool gimmick, a ton of capacity, and, the rollers, of course, and I feel like this just ends up being a very strong speed type. But what if we did all of this, special caps, capacity, the rollers, of course, and added on a one-handed grip, and that is exactly what the number 1 does. Samet's G. This is, in my opinion, the most speed type-like speed type. That's a stupid way of saying it, but that's just how it is. So, Samet's G, you got the rollers, you got the magazine, a 3-cap capacity, this time less, however, again, it's modular. Well, you can't add magazines on the back of this thing, but again, you can add this on the, the back of other magazines. So again, you can stack magazines using this as kind of the end of it, which is nice. Special type of caps, if I could get that out. The light cap, very much hollowed out, meant to, again, be kind of a faster cap. Also just kind of decreases tension by not having a top part, because it kind of flexes in easier, being kind of hollowed out, so yeah. But you have kind of the ergonomic advantage here, because again, you have a one-handed grip on the back here, which is, in my opinion, the best one-handed grip. It just works very well. It's the best, without a doubt. And then also, when you're shooting, again, with your one-handed grip, this, again, you can make it go to either side. It's, the two-way server. I'm left-handed, so I'm holding this with my left hand. You can load with your right hand in that case, and it's further over, so it's a lot easier to load since you're not going on top. As a speed type, this is just the best, I would say. Based on kind of the definition of a speed type, this is number one, because, again, you have that kind of specialty cap, you have the rollers, you have cap capacity, you have the one-handed grip, and there's even just the kind of ergonomic advantage of the magazine's positioning. This had to be like the freest number one, I would say. Well, probably the freest number one overall here. It does like everything you want in a speed type, and again, performance-wise, and with the gun cap issues, you could debate about that and whether it's the best speed type or not. I'd still say no, but based on the parameters of this video, it's number one. So there you go. The speed type ranking video, kind of a quicker one. Yeah, just a fun video to talk about. What I think is kind of the best speed type, again, within the definition of it. I don't know if these videos are that necessary, but like they're just kind of fun to make. Next month, I will be doing control types and then ending with multi-types around the middle of the month, so watch out for those. Yeah, just kind of doing this series is a little bit of a fun extra side thing while we wait for more Bottleman to release. So that's all for this video. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.